Hey, it's Lee. This is a message for Bob and Brian, the folks who are joining our team in summer 2022. I just wanted to give you a little bit of background because we are constantly in a state of playing whack-a-mole and answering support questions, and we don't do a lot of reflecting and recapping. So this is meant to be an effort in that direction. What I have on screen is something I want to work out if and when the phone stops ringing, but it's like a timeline of Amion. And in case I don't get this done in the next couple of weeks or months and it falls by the wayside, I wanted to at least explain it here. So, Amion came to be in like 1999, give or take. Stewart, our fearless leader, made this software program for his wife, Jody, who was a chief resident in a pediatrics residency. And she was kind of, I always say that she was pulling her hair out building the residency schedule and, block rotations and what trainees do, and then depending on what team they're on, what call they take, what shifts they do, what clinics they work, and then when the team changes, they go to different responsibilities, that kind of thing. He built the OnCall program, which is a little bit lower than my screen, I think, for her, for Jody, his wife. The OnCall program being the desktop scheduling software that folks still use to this day. It's gone through many, many, many iterations and feature adds. After 1999, in about 2002 or 3, a lot of the residents that used Amion in residency and fellowship had moved on, or they'd moved to like fellowship, and then from fellowship to being attending faculty, and then they called Stewart and said, "Hey, that residency solution software was really great, but we don't rotate through different teams anymore. We're just faculty working in a department. Can we just use the call schedule part of that?" And so many people asked that Stewart said, "Sure, I'll make a call schedule only version." And that's where the attending style schedules come from. So if you are looking at Amion and, if you log in with AZ5, you see a sample residency schedule. It's this big complex thing that I know Brian knows a bit about, and Bob will get to know a little bit about. But if you log in instead with AZ4, you'll see a much more simplified listing of people who are working, and they're just doing a thing on a day at a time. It's not tied to a rotation that they're training in. That's the attending platform. So, 2003, 4, something like that, the attending platform comes to be. 2005, 6, 7, somewhere in there, we started combining these little tiny schedules, or not so tiny schedules, but these single groups into big accounts like the one you'll see under the login site, SITE. This is an enterprise account, and to us, enterprise just means a combination of a bunch of schedules into a big list. And hospitals loved this because they were like, great, our switchboard staff can just refer to this. And Andy, the anesthesia scheduler, he updates his assignments, and Carol in cardiac surgery updates hers. We don't have to do a thing. We'll just direct people to look at this, and overnight we can refer to this. And so switchboard folks really liked the automation of that. And since then, enterprise schedules have expanded and moved from one hospital to another, and now we have like maybe 10,000 or 12,000 total schedules, total single schedules, and many of those are enterprises, big hospital systems that use Amion across the board. Kind of cool. We grew a lot. We grew fast. And I say we because right after that, in 2008, I joined the team. I was the first hire. Stewart and Carol worked with Stewart. Carol was our a longtime sort of bookkeeper and ad hoc HR person. She's newly retired now. But I joined the team, and Stewart and I mostly started helping these folks build these big enterprises, and I would fly around and do a bunch of sales stuff, but also do a bunch of support stuff and make videos and drink coffee and generally annoy people, which I still do to this day. And that went on for a few years. In 2012, we brought Aline on, and you guys probably have met or talked to Aline, or you will. She's kind of the rock. If I'm the sort of wild, energetic one, she's the steady one who follows the rules and makes sure that I do too. She's awesome. A couple of years later, Reagan came on board. A couple of years after that, Lauren came on board. A couple of years later, we hired in twos. We brought on Lisa and Andy. I mentioned Lisa's last initial in this list because we did have another Lisa for a while, but she is now retired. And then a year after that, we brought on Cynthia and Michelle. There's the Lisa Claire who came on in 2014. But Cynthia and Michelle joined us just a couple of years ago, and now that we're with Doximity, we're hiring a pair again, hiring you guys. As you're listening to this, Brian's on the West Coast in Southern California. Bob is in Virginia, so you guys are on opposite coasts. We've tried to kind of divide the team up that way, although it'll become less and less important over time as we get bigger. But I am here in Connecticut on the East Coast, and I've been back and forth to Boston a bunch. Aline is in Utah on Mountain Time. Reagan's in Houston on Central Time. Lauren is just outside Philly on Eastern Time. Lisa is in New Jersey, also on Eastern Time. Andy is in Southern California, and Cynthia is in Southern California. So those are the West Coast. They make up the West Coast crew at the moment. Brian will probably work with them quite a bit. And Michelle is in Georgia on the East Coast, and Lisa Claire was in Idaho on Mountain Time. So we're kind of spread around the country, which is really nice. Reagan's wife went through fellowship and moved around a bunch. He's been the West Coast guy, the Mountain Time guy. Now he's the Central guy. I'm sure at some point he'll make it to the East Coast too. Anyway, just a little history and kind of basic info on where everybody is and where they live. And I guess I'm sort of in charge, although I kind of, don't like the official way that sounds, but I'm kind of the team leader. Let's see, what big other events happened? Just a sort of a decade of growth between 2012 and 2022, and then, in the holidays at the end of 2021, Stuart and Jeff from Doximity got together and decided it was time. We had been using, or Doximity had been building Amion's mobile app since like 2012, so we had a long-standing relationship with Dox, and then we officially joined them. And so our whole team, except for Lisa Claire, who retired, and Carol, who retired, the whole team joined Dox. We've been doing great. The first 3 months we've spent with them has been awesome. We've continued to grow, and now we're getting into tweaking Amion's website, making it look a little cleaner, having it live on Doximity's servers, some sales stuff that you'll hear about where we're offering big hospitals a deal if they want to use Amion site-wide, but we'll talk more about that as we go. Anyway, that's just sort of the couple-minute history of Amion, and we're excited to have you guys be part of the team. I'll say this over and over again when we do finally start meeting, but we're pretty informal over here. We work hard, and we like to keep it light. So any questions about anything at all, come to me, come to the team. We're all pretty easygoing. Okay, I'll stop rambling and send this to you guys.